Okay, so it looks like we might have all been wrong about the whole Jay Z and Beyonce thing, because according to Blu Cantrell, Beyonce isn't exactly the innocent woman that everybody seems to think she is. Y'all know how there have been rumors about how Jay Z keeps Beyonce under his control and doesn't let her do anything, right? Well, not only is Blu Cantrell calling this BS, but she just revealed that Beyonce is allegedly Jay Z's handler and has been calling the shots this whole time. But that's not all. She's also claiming that Beyonce allegedly killed her career and got her blackballed because Jay Z had eyes for Blu, and Beyonce wasn't having any of it. But Blu didn't stop there, because she also hinted that Beyonce allegedly tried to unalive her. Y'all, this has to be one of the most shocking things we've heard in a long time. So y'all better sit down for this, because it's about to be one wild ride. Y'all, at this point, it looks like Beyonce might never shake off these shady allegations of being the ultimate career blocker in the industry. The whispers have been loud, and all the receipts, well, they're piling up like Beyonce's Grammy Awards, literally. So many folks in the biz have spilled tea about how Queen Bee allegedly put brakes on their careers. Now, I'm not saying that all these claims are the gospel truth, because let's be real, some people just can't handle their success and might be jealous, but honey, there are a few stories that make you go, this is giving sus. Like the story of Blu Cantrell. Y'all remember Blu Cantrell? While I was scheming, I was beaming in the beamer, just beaming. Can't believe that I caught my man cheating. Some of y'all are too young for that. But she's not only saying that Beyonce derailed her career, but she's also claiming that Beyonce allegedly tried to unalive her. Why? Because Blu Cantrell allegedly got a little too cozy with Jay Z. And if there's one thing that we know for sure about Miss Beyonce, is that she does not play when it comes to her man Jay Z. Now, for example, a juicy blind item from a couple of months ago had the streets talking, claiming that Beyonce was the mastermind behind Tierra Marie's career taking a nosedive. Allegedly, Queen Bee got wind that Tierra had a little something going on with Jay Z, despite the fact that Tierra was practically a baby compared to Jay Z at the time. Well, T is that not only did Beyonce shut down this fling with a quickness, but she also made sure to end Tierra's career just to make a clear message. Don't mess with her, man.
And he signed her to a deal. By the time all of the ink was dry, she was just shy of being legal. But that didn't stop the mogul. He liked to sample the new talent. He was sampling her on a fairly regular basis, but he was also involved with the current A+ list singer who was in his face every day. And this could allegedly be Beyonce. The thing is, though, that corn star in charge of her career was feuding with the mogul and told the mogul he would not be allowed to hook up with the singer again. I assume he thought the mogul would think she was something special. Apparently not as special as the current A+ lister, because the new signee was dropped and the word was put out on the street. No record deals for her from any label. When someone ignored the edict, they were paid a visit. If the visits were ignored, then other steps were taken. This was a total lockdown of a career that lasted almost a decade.
Now, Blu is spilling the tea, claiming that Beyonce did her dirty too, allegedly using her queen status to get Blu blacklisted from the industry. But before we dive into all of that, let me break down the backstory of what supposedly went down between Blu Cantrell and Jay Z. So back in the late 90s, Blu and Jay were pretty tight, like people side-eyeing their friendship tight. They were so close that folks started to wonder if there was more than just music going on between them. At the time, Blu was making moves as a backing vocalist for big names like Diddy, and it didn't take long for the bigwigs to notice her talent. Enter L.A. Reid, who swooped in and signed her to Arista Records, thinking she was about to blow up. In 2001, Blu dropped her debut album So Blue, and it was an absolute banger. The album shot up to number 8 on the Billboard 200, racked up multiple top 10 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, and even earned her not 1 but 2 Grammy nominations that year. Oh, and within just 2 weeks, the album went gold. This was on fire. But around that same time, things between Blu and Jay Z started heating up, allegedly. And here's where it gets messy, because Jay Z was also making moves on Beyonce, trying to lock her down at the same time. So what was he doing getting all cozy with Blu? Well, the streets are saying that Jay was hedging his bets, keeping Blu as a backup plan in case Beyonce wasn't feeling him like that. He'd just been burned by Aaliyah, so he wasn't about to put all his eggs in one basket. Don't hate the player, hate the game. But anyways, Blue dropped her second album in 2003, right around the same time Beyonce unleashed her debut solo album, Dangerously in Love. Now y'all know how it goes when two artists drop heat close to each other. It's a rivalry, especially if it's women, and that's exactly what went down between Beyonce and Blue. Not only were they competing for the same man allegedly, but their beef spilled over into the music scene, and things just started spiraling. Blue kept insisting that there was nothing romantic between her and Jay Z, claiming they were just friends and all that. But let's be real, nobody was buying it. Folks were convinced that she was just trying to save face and tone the drama down. Well, the rumors hit a whole new level when Blue sat down for an interview with Wendy Williams, and y'all already knew Wendy was not finna hold back. She always asked the difficult questions and never let her guests off easy, and we loved her for it, even though she was messy as F. But anyways, Wendy came right out and asked Blue if she had ever kissed Jay Z or done anything romantic with him. Now this was Blue's golden opportunity to shut down this gossip once and for all. But what did she do? Sis laughed and dodged the question entirely, practically tossing gasoline on this rumor fire. Instead of putting those whispers to bed, she had everybody talking even more.
You ever kissed Jay Z romantically?
No. No, I can't answer that. I can't answer that.
Oh, she's touching him up the neck! Look! You see?
Why do people not want to let the Jay Z Blue Cantrell thing go?
Because, honey, that was a fabulous little high point in your career.
Well, what about Beyonce and Jay Z? That's fabulous.
See, there were a million ways Blue could have handled that question, like laughing it off and dodging it though. Y'all, that was the absolute worst move because it just made the rumors grow even louder. But if you thought that was bad, buckle up, buttercup, because it's about to get even messier. Wendy went on to suggest that the reason that Jay-Z chose Beyonce was because she was younger, and just when you thought that Blue might keep it cute, she jumped in and claimed that it wasn't about age. It was because Beyonce was more naive and easier to manipulate. Way to give it away, Blue, and according to her, that's exactly the kind of woman Jay-Z sought. Talk about throwing shade.
What, me and him?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you're above 25.
Why, he needs somebody younger than that?
At the end of the day, yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because I think at the end of the day, a younger, less savvy to the ways of the world broad.
Somebody a little bit more naive.
You said it, not me.
You good
Do you know what I mean?
good at making me say things?
Yeah, I just thought that you were too.
Yeah, not only was it a whole lot of mess, but it was super disrespectful to Beyonce, who wasn't even fully involved in the drama at that point. Now, y'all know that Beyonce does like to keep it cute in public and has never been the type to throw shade publicly. So it was weird that Blue kept acting shady when Beyonce never did anything personally to her at the time. Well, the tea didn't stop there because over the next few years, Blue took things to a whole new level by accusing Beyonce of straight up stealing her visuals and passing them off as her own, which she still gets accused of to this day. But case in point, when Beyonce and Jay Z dropped the music video for Bonnie and Clyde, Blue was quick to claim that they had copied her music video for Roundup. And it didn't stop there. When Beyonce released Baby Boy, You Stay on My Mind, featuring Sean Paul, Blue came out again accusing B of copying her because she had dropped her own track Breathe with Sean Paul before Beyonce's hit, and the drama just kept going and going. And then there's this juicy speculation that Beyonce was throwing some subtle shade at Blue in her song Signs. In the track, Beyonce sang, I wish you was a Virgo, the same sign as me, yeah. I know how to show me love, cause I've been hurt by a Pisces, girl. Cause that's where things got spicy. Jay-Z is a Sagittarius, Beyonce is a Virgo, and Blue Cantrell, she's a Pisces. So naturally, fans put two and two together and believe that Beyonce was low-key admitting that Jay-Z cheated on her with Blue. Now, if you thought that this mess couldn't possibly get any weirder, listen, think again and grab your seat. In an interview with The Guardian, Blue was asked about Beyonce, and her response, well, let's just say it took the drama to a whole new level. She said, I'm an adult. adult. She's younger, and if she's doing what you're saying, then she's being a little immature. Maybe she's trying to do it to get press, but I want to make her understand if she goes there with me, it's the wrong move. She needs to understand what she's doing and what she's getting into. Blu also tried to drag Jay Z into it, saying if she's being negative, she doesn't need to be because she's a beautiful girl. But if you have issues with your man, address it with the guy. Don't take it out on a girl. It's never the way to go. The interview was the final straw that broke the camel's back though, and after that, Blu Cantrell's career took a huge nosedive. She never released another album or even a single after that interview, which is wild when you consider how talented she is and how successful her first 2 albums were. Both albums were Grammy nominated and charted amazingly, so her sudden disappearance from the music scene felt super strange and a little too calculated. Then in late 2013, Blu announced that she was working on a 3rd album after leaving her label, calling herself a free agent. But that album never saw the light of day. In 2014, she was hospitalized following what was described as a mental breakdown. The whole situation was just sad and left everyone wondering what really happened to her. She was found on the streets of Santa Monica in California by 2 a.m., screaming about how someone had tried to unalive her with some sort of poisonous gas, and she was eventually taken to the hospital for evaluation. Even though folks in the industry tried to brush this off as just another Hollywood mental breakdown, and some even hinted it could have been drug-induced, the fans weren't buying it. They couldn't help but notice how similarly weird this situation was to what happened to actor Martin Lawrence, who also had a mysterious mental breakdown that left people with more questions than answers. Fans were quick to point out that this didn't feel like a coincidence, but rather something much deeper and more unsettling. In May 1996, Martin was arrested for being picked up at a busy intersection in Sherman Oaks, California, holding a gun and screaming at passing motorists, "They're trying to kill me." According to one witness, Martin also yelled, "Fight, don't give up, fight the power," as he was being taken to the hospital, which was weird because the fact that the tabloids also kept referring to Martin as troubled and implied that he was on drugs. Even after the doctors who treated Martin at the hospital later denied these claims, and the medical center spokesperson Ron Wise told the press that there was absolutely no medication of any type involved. So Blu's case wasn't the first time we've seen a celeb being labeled as crazy when things got suspicious. Then enters Miss Jaguar Wright herself, who decided to jump into the mix and share her 2 cents. And if you know anything about Miss Jaguar Wright, you know she's never afraid to spill the tea and tell it like it is. Straight, no chaser, no sugar, no tahini. When Jaguar speaks, you know she's about to drop some serious truth bombs.
Blu. The first Blu. Not they daughter Blu. Blu Cantrell. You were singing, fool. And you made a choice to work with someone, and you probably didn't realize how nefarious he was when you got involved with him. I didn't. Blu, it's time to talk. It's time for you to sing again. Because I know you still got the chops. You got the gift. Just like me. Jay Z worked very hard to erase you and me. Just like he did L. Just like he did his relationship with R. Kelly. Just like he did his relationship with Aaliyah. Blu, it's time to talk.
Well, it looks like Jaguar's words struck a chord with Blu because she now has finally spoken about what really went down. She's spilling the tea on how a certain powerful someone allegedly got her fired from her label as an act of revenge. Blu's ready to tell the world and let them know that her disappearance from the spotlight wasn't by choice, it was orchestrated. She said, "I would have got my lawyer because that lawyer ended up representing them, which was a conflict of interest. So they were all working together to basically take what was mine. Nobody really knows the truth about me and them, but I was really taken advantage of." But hold on, because that's just the tip of the iceberg. According to an insider, Blu is now claiming that it was allegedly Beyonce who tried to unalive her back in 2014. The source says that Beyonce had allegedly had enough of Blu talking about her and the rumored affair with Jay Z and decided to take drastic measures to silence her for good. But if this is true, then this drama just went from 0 to 100 real fast and puts a whole new meaning into Crazy in Love. But get this, as shocking as this is, Blu is claiming that she is not Beyonce's only victim, because Beyonce is allegedly obsessed with making sure Jay-Z's mistresses know their place, and that they face severe consequences for messing with her man. Blu also pointed out how weird it was that Rihanna is the only woman who allegedly had an affair with Jay Z and was still successful. And Beyonce also allegedly tried to end Rihanna, but was unsuccessful because Rihanna had allegedly been smart enough to win some favor with some very powerful people in the industry. Blu claimed that Beyonce is allegedly Jay-Z's handler, and she keeps him in line, and not the other way around like most people think. There have been several reports that Jay-Z allegedly keeps Beyonce high and on drugs because it makes it easier to control her and keep her in his clutches that way. However, Blu is calling BS on all that, saying that this is all an act from Beyonce to hide the fact that she is truly the one with all the power in the marriage, and that Jay-Z is the puppet in her hands. While Jay-Z isn't exactly innocent or an angel, allegedly he's not the manipulator that everybody seems to think he is when it comes to Beyonce. What's more, Blu is also dropping some other names of other artists who were allegedly ruined by Beyonce, like singer Mya. But let me take you back a little bit back in time to give you the tea on Mya. She's been in the music game for ages, and back in the day when she was the undisputed queen of R&B music, it was her passion, and her parents were totally supportive of her dreams. When she was 17, her dad decided to step in and help her launch her career. He sent out a bunch of her demo tapes to Islam, the big shot CEO of University Music Entertainment. Islam was completely blown away by Mya's talent, both on those demo tapes and in person during her audition. He knew she was destined for greatness, so he wasted no time in signing her to his label and securing a distribution deal with Interscope Records. Mya didn't waste any time diving headfirst into her music career, because back in 1996, she got to work on her debut self-titled album, and with her connection to Islam, she scored collaborations with some of the biggest names in the game, like Missy Elliott, Babyface, Diane Warren, Drew Hill, and Silk the Shocker were all in the mix. While Mya was laying down tracks, Interscope was busy promoting her as their top R&B sensation, and for good reason, because she wasn't just nobody's singer, she was the whole package. Not only could she sing down, but she could also tear up that dance floor and deliver these performances on these big screens. Breaking into the R&B scene in the late 90s was no easy feat because everybody was trying to be in R&B. The genre was overflowing with talent, with heavyweights like Aaliyah, Brandy, Monica competing for the same spotlight, and the competition was stiff. But Mya held her own. Her debut album was a smash, going gold, selling over 1.4 million copies and climbing to 29 on the US Billboard 200 chart. And the accolades kept rolling in. Mya scored 2 Soul Train music nominations for Best R&B Soul or Rap New Artist and Best R&B Soul Album, along with an NAACP Image Award nomination for Outstanding New Artist. Not too shabby for a teenager making her debut in this cutthroat music industry. Mya hit the ground running too, and by 1998 she was already making major moves. She teamed up with heavy hitters like Blackstreet, Blinky Blink, and Mace for the Rugrats movie soundtrack. But the real showstopper was her collaboration with Old Dirty Bastard on Ghetto Superstar, which earned her first Grammy nomination and put her on the map. The following year, Mya expanded her talents into acting, taking on a role in the crime thriller In Too Deep as the character Loretta. And as if that wasn't bad enough, she was also hard at work with her second album, Fear of Flying, which dropped in April 2000. Mya was straight up on fire, showing the world that she was more than just a one-hit wonder, but she was a force to be reckoned with, okay? Then in 2001, Mya teamed up with Christina Aguilera and Lil' Kim and Pink to put their own fierce spin on Patti LaBelle's 1975 classic, Creole Lady Mama Line. And let me tell y'all, they knocked it out the whole park. They shut that down. The remix shot to #1 in over 15 countries, turning heads and taking names, and some people like that version better than Patty's. Not Patty! Their show-stopping performance at the 44th Grammy Awards in 2002 was nothing short of magical, and they even took home the Grammy for the Best Pop Collaboration with Vocals. And this officially cemented Mya's status as a force to be reckoned with in the music industry. And as Mya's career soared to new heights, her acting career also made serious waves. In 2002, she strutted into the big screen in the musical Chicago, delivering a performance that left critics in awe. Her role earned her accolades like the Critics' Choice Movie Award and the Screen Actors Guild Award. It was like Mya had the Midas touch. Everything she was doing was turning to gold. Despite Mya's immense talent and impressive accolades though, fans couldn't help but notice that her career didn't quite reach the heights that everyone anticipated. She was in the mix with R&B royalty like Monica, Aaliyah, and Brandy right from the start. Even as a teenager, everyone expected her to be dominating the industry by now. But what happened? Why did she disappear so suddenly? Well, rumors have been circulating for years that Mya was blacklisted because she refused to play the industry's game and get cozy with certain powerful figures, the gatekeepers, who control everything. But it seems we might have gotten it wrong because new reports suggest that she was blacklisted over an affair that never even happened. The craziest part, it all unfolded so quietly that Mya herself didn't even realize it was going on until it was too late. Now, for some context, there were whispers about Mya getting a little too close to Jay Z after they teamed up on her remix of her hit, Best of Me. Neither of them addressed the rumors head on, which only seemed to pour more fuel to the fire. But here's the kicker, the remix almost didn't even happen because Mya and Jay-Z didn't exactly start off on the right foot. They first crossed paths in 2000 when Mya's label reached out to Jay-Z for the collab on the remix, which was being produced by the hip-hop duo Trackmasters. And according to Tone, who is one half of the Trackmasters, Jay-Z felt insulted by Mya's attitude. He thought she didn't show enough appreciation for his feature on her track. It's one of those behind-the-scenes dramas that never made the headlines, but gives you a peek into the real-life soap opera that the music industry is. He said, so Jay came to the studio that night at the Hit Factory. We got it right away. He understood what it was, but he didn't like Mya's vibe in the room. He looked at her like she was a spoiled brat because she was. Jay looked at her like, I'm about to rap on your record. You're about to have a hit. I don't think you really appreciate it. The producer claimed that Jay-Z then stormed out of the studio, after which people in the studio said to Mya, yo, Mya, Jay wants to do the record, but he feels like you're not even giving him any love. Like, no thank you or none of that. Eventually, they managed to get Jay-Z back in the studio and Mya patched things up with him, offering apologies and playing nice so that she could get back to making music. But before long, the rumor mill was cranking out all sorts of nonsense about her and Jay-Z getting cozy, allegations of affairs and everything. It was just a whole mess of gossip, even though Mya was clear that she was single and definitely was not involved with Jay-Z. But even after Jay Z and Beyonce became a couple, the tabloids just wouldn't let up on these rumors about Mya and Jay-Z. But eventually, the drama simmered down, and Mya went on with her life until 2014. When this infamous Jay Z and Solange elevator incident happened. Suddenly the rumors flared up again and people suggested that Jay Z was cheating on Beyonce. Mya's name got dragged all the way back into the mess. Things only got worse though when Beyonce dropped her Lemonade album and Mya found herself accused of being Becky with the good hair. She was dragged so hard that she eventually had to come out to deny the allegations. A fan on Instagram asked her, heard you and Jay Z had an 11-year affair. Are you his side chick or not? And Mya quickly fired back. Never did, never was, never will. She also wrote, I play second to no one. Pay my own bills, have my own label, own my management company, rely on God only, and respect myself in marriage. Too much for nonsense. Even though nobody believed her, she continued to insist over and over again that she didn't have a thing with Jay Z.
Because in the past, of course, you've been accused of similar things.
Well, that's what you sign up for when you enter the business.
Absolutely, but it must be hard dealing with all the beehive coming at you.
I don't have anybody coming at me, but I know what I'm not guilty of.
Oh, of course.
While she didn't outrightly accuse Beyonce of blackballing her, Mya talked about how some powerful people in the industry often go out of their way to target the younger and more vulnerable artists who are still trying to find their way in the industry.
You must protect your space, but you don't necessarily know what the agenda is behind someone speaking down to you, at you, etc. There are horrible things that happen every day, whether it be in the industry or not, mentally, emotionally, sexually, financially, and you have to break down your value. You really have to assess that and your standards. And it's very difficult if you don't know it, if you can't identify it regarding what's coming at you.
And that takes some time to maybe step away if you walked into this game not knowing who you are and your limitations. You grow into that. If you start early in any game without knowing who you are and being solid in some type of foundation, it's very dangerous for you as an individual. And you have to not be desperate.
Well, Blue Cantrell is now claiming that Beyonce allegedly targeted Mya because she believed that Mya and Jay-Z did have a thing, even though Mya denied it. Y'all, this is just a whole pile of insanity, and fans are definitely shook with these revelations. They believe in comments saying, Beyonce is so insanely insecure, it's odd that people can't see it. She had an issue with everybody who had a thing with Jay-Z. Instead of finding someone who will cherish her, she's putting out all this negativity towards everyone but the main source of her suffering, which is her husband. I have never ever been a Beyonce fan at all, but Blue Cantrell, I remember buying her CD in the early 2000s and somehow didn't hear much from her after a while. Now it makes sense. And this other person commented, Blue Cantrell looks like Beyonce future-wise, and B&J's child is named Blue Ivy. What the F? Not the baby being named after Blue? What kind of sick mess? Well, you all know it's crazy, but I gotta know what y'all think about this. Do you believe Blue's allegations, or do you think that she's scheming and trying to stir up some more drama? But one thing's for sure and two things for certain, looks like Beyonce meant it when she said, ringing your alarm, I've been through this too long, and I'll be dang if I sing another chick on your arm. But drop your thoughts and comments below and then check out this next video.